Let's start with the notification gang. Go to the like, the sharp sign on the count of 3. We're all clicking it. Go to the like sign, guys. Everyone, even the new guys. 1, 2, 3. Click, 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 click. Thank you very much for following me. I know ukuthi sometimes ukuthi ufinyelele phezulu udinga abantu abathile.
Yeah.
Because sibiza ukuthi ama connection.
Sure.
You know? And what motivational speakers would usually say to people is network. What is a new way of networking if I'm a young person who would like to be, not necessarily in Penuel's shoes, but I want to be like you where I'm able to now meet these unknown billionaires and millionaires? How do I use my phone camera and the Wi-Fi that I have to get myself closer to such people who might end up opening up or raising a hand to open up my network to assist me one day so I can grow my hustle, you know?
Again, I've got a lot of things streaming through my mind at the same time. One of them is the trolling conversation we had last week. Catching people's attention by, and every day I'm making a video. And more fire until you're like, hey, people like Sbuda, this guy. And then once I have your attention, it's up to me how I convert it. The true answer to networking and connections.
In 2022.
Not even in 2022. So from when you're young, you need to begin building a brand. And we need to teach our children that everyone is watching you from when you're young. Kids you're at school with, or teach, or what, they're already building algorithms of who you are, who you were. Even if you're a loudmouth kid who was causing disruption in class, the day you become a big deal, your teacher will be like, you always made noise in class. I can see why you're a big stand-up comedian today. You know, because that was your brand. You know what I mean? So a lot of guys are living a crappy life with their friends, especially at tertiary, where you're getting drunk and you're chowing people's girls because you think you're cool. I'm watching you. I'm not connected to what happened. But my algorithms in my brain are now calculating that your moral card is a bit flawed. The day I become president and I have to dish out tenders, I'm not going to give them to you because you might chow my wife. You know, so people need to be cognizant of what brand they're building. If it's time to work, put in the work. If I'm like let me go because tomorrow these guys are going to be like, you were there with us, dog. Over and above that, building your brand, using the platforms you have, getting mentors is very much about work. Some of the greatest kids you're going to meet are kids that came to you and said, Sbuda, I want to push you more fire. Because they can't sit with you, let's say like me, and make noise. You were Chame with my words, over the internet. He's shy, but he's like, I want to get close to Sbuda, and he's given the country a handout and said, I'm selling more fire, come. And you're like, some kids are like, he's given me an in, so I'm going in. I want to be next to Sbu, and if this is my way in, let me do it. I want to meet the CEO of this big company. I might not be able to sit with him, but what's the lowest way I can get in? Let me go work there. Let me apply. Let me get this. And you get in. I've met some of the biggest CEOs in the country in that way, by banging a door down in my little way. So I opened a fish and chip shop in 2012, which is mine. It was called Penuel's Fish and Chips. And in doing that, I then started sending emails to Kevin Hedderwick, who was the CEO of famous brands, Osteers, Wimpy, and those companies. I sent emails to the guys at Nando's, and I just kept trolling. I don't know if it's trolling, but I kept hammering. And my story was, I've got a fish and chip shop, so there's already a common interest. I want to meet you. And you'd be surprised at how many guys are willing to sit and share knowledge. You need to remove this black thing. You need to remove this tribal thing. You need to remove even the foreign thing, and you need to be like, I like what to strive Masiyiwa from Zimbabwe has built with Kwese, you know, or what is built with EcoNet in Zimbabwe. I want to meet him because that's a fountain of knowledge, and you need to use whatever you have. One of the things that was streaming through my mind is when I went through my Forex period a couple of years ago, I started meeting yellow bone, hot, fat ass girls. You're so hot. A lot of them gain easy access to Amachita that have money because by Shisa. All the guys want to be like, hey, some of these girls are getting in there with their hotness, and they're sitting and they're keeping quiet and they're listening and they're learning. And when a Penuel calls me Nangchama Ngomlo, say, how you doing? She's like, oh, I like you. When I start conversing with this girl, because we're now having a conversation, I'm not there for her bums and her what. She's like, you know, Penuel, I can connect you with this guy. You know, Penuel, I've actually heard this is how RFQs work. This is how they use what they had. And there's a, I think it's a meme or a quote, start where you are, whether it's a Tembisa, use what you have, your drive, your what, have a vision and fight until you get what you want. It's scary when you study the stories of Saul Kersner, even an Elon Musk, some of the wealthiest white people. We're obviously like, but ungamla. And you're like, please go sit with them and listen to the hurdles this guy to jump, because he's Johann Rupert and he's $1 billionaire. But if you're a teacher, you teach with white people. If you work in a hospital, you work with white nurses. We are with a white cop. Why are they not as rich as Johann? That means there's something about him, more especially his father, Anton. And try and find that. So I've literally been going out, and again, in building your brand, part of it is showing up. If what DJ Sbu is saying, hey yo Pen, let's meet at 11, I'm there at 10:30, 11:45. So that even if it's like, that Lighty talks crap, he'll be like, if someone's like, you know, he's become a big deal, he'll be like, you know, that Lighty used to show up on time. And he respected me, and he was greeting everyone, and he was being polite. He spoke shit on camera, fuck you guys, but I remember that he showed up on time and he respected everyone, and then he thanked everyone, even when he left.
Did you guys hear what he just said? Little etiquette, like being an Uber driver and taking your call. If I'm calling you as your client, you're like, hola. You can't. You don't even know who's on the other side of the phone. Professionalism. When you're an Uber driver, you're already a hustler that is in a professional environment. Just because you're an Uber driver, you're sitting in a car the whole day, it doesn't mean you must not take a bath or just wear short pants and just push in and driving the whole day smelling a kwapa for your clients. You can't. and I'm not bashing anyone, but I've had some bad experiences.
I can imagine.
Because I Uber from time to time. And I'm much sure. Sometimes I'm much, wow, Sbu,
sure.
But the way you treated me online,
sure,
I was almost so ticked off. I almost was like, can't
no, let me cancel this thing.
The way you handle the phone, there was no professionalism. Because
sure.
Oh, okay, I'm not that little conversation that I'll have with him for like that 3 minutes or 5 minutes. Added
value in his life.
More professional. Because it's like musicians. A lot of us end up getting in entertainment, and we've never been introduced into the corporate or formal world
of
that
how
teaches
to be professional,
us etiquette and professionalism. And guys, those are little things that you cannot take for granted. For you to move and get to the highest people, to network yourself or your way up to the right people that might take you somewhere with your life, you gotta watch how you move. You gotta watch how you speak to people, your tone of voice, the way you dress, the way you maneuver. All those little things count. The way you write emails, your spelling. That might end up being your.
And because of a lack of financial literacy, a lot of us just have missed the whole thing. There's definitely a place to speak about Ubuntu and the community and giving back. And I think part of what's meant to happen to financial literacy is that all children are meant to know that your parents are raising you as an investment. This thing of no, you are an extension of us. Just as we take care of you, please know that one day, I see it in some of the other nations. When I know I have to take care of my Tinangati, it's a shock. No. You have to. You are the dividends for your parents. So part of the financial literacy needs to be about, guys, we're being raised to give back. And if you do make it, unfortunately, yes, you're going to have a bigger responsibility than the next guy. Because
don't say unfortunately.
You made it. I'm saying unfortunately specifically because I know there's different people listening. And I was listening to you speaking and I was cringing because there's a lot of young people who don't even want to go home for exactly what you were saying. Because the uncle always wants to be here. Because and they get angry. Because they only go through it so much and they're like, do you know how much debt is sitting on my shoulders? Do you know that my car's about to be repossessed? Do you know at work? So they get emotional. There's a lot of people now, festive. They don't go home anymore because it's a traumatic experience.
I think it's selfish when let me come in there. I know I'll
sure.
let you finish. Nasinga compare nala mantombazana ohlala uploma nawo nge-weekend. I'm not talking specifically.
No. I'm glad you're raising this.
Ohlala uploma nabo every weekend.
Sure.
Just one lunch. Forget going out to a conga or going out to a club. Just sitting like this.
Sure.
Because you remember, going out starts with just maybe a lunch like this.
Of course.
Maybe this lunch is happening simultaneously at a car wash while our cars are being washed.
Sure.
Or maybe my car is being washed.
Sure.
Because maybe I'm the achiever in the crew.
Sure.
And I'm going to have to pay that bill, tip those guys who are washing the car. I have to pay the bill of this chisanyama that we're having here. And then we're going to groove.
Boom.
Mara skatines pa nasingatsepeka wena awuthiyami. Le malo ispende yina machita or ukupa ibhodlela yi or ukuspenda le konka.
Sure.
Now ungayibheka leyo mali esikhathini esiningi. It's no way compared to imali abahlale bayicela ekasi.
No, I agree.
Ekasi mfethu bazicelela 10 rand, 50 rand, iklipa, 3 klipa, at most 5 klipa, at most itawa.
You, Westbuda,
esikhathini esiningi lezo imali okhuluma ngazo wena ama 10 rand, ama 20 rand as opposed to lezo ilay queen ezihlale ziko regatreg ekonka.
This is why I was saying earlier, and I wanted to emphasize that it's all the time and it's everywhere. You know, when you park your car around Joburg, you have to pay, and that money accumulates. And in this country, people don't earn as well as we'd like to think. You know, the average black salary is 3.6. To be in the top 10% is 7,300. The top 1% is at 50,000 take home. So the 50,000 guy is the one that can give out 300 what. But part of that financial literacy, which I'm saying, if we could fix it from a young age, teach the young kids, you're being raised by your parents to give back. Understand that you have a responsibility to give back. And then importantly, as you're growing up, begin drafting a sort of, maybe a list of these are the people I actually have to give back to as a matter of priority. Know that. And then from the parents' perspective, we need to teach financial literacy so that the parents understand that this is how money works. So if your child is earning 30,000 a month, chances are in Joburg, this is how much rent is, this is how much a car is. So your child maybe only has this much. So try and be what I'd call realistic from parents, the kids as well, because ma keep ama 10 rand, nama 200, nama, are you actually, is that within a budget? Are you working, even if we include those slay queens and the car wash, are you working within budget? Do we know how to budget? So that you know that when I go home, I've actually got my budget of 5,000, for example. 5,000 every day, nama 2 rand, nama 5 rand, because I know what's going to happen when I walk in the streets. And I know the people that are my priority, that non-negotiable, I'm going to do this. I know the people that are not that much of a priority, here and there. Then the guys who I'm like, I was in Petang now on 5 rand jaya, but within a budget, so that you know that I spent 5-10% within. That's part of the issue that we have. And I think part of the issue with the young people we were speaking about is maybe some of them end up broke, not because of bad spending habits with slay queens and car washers, but because their black tax is so high. And the black tax is not transferring into a black investment. It's literally charity. Eka, they're always waiting for money from you. They're not taking money buying more fire stock. They're not taking money building a room at the back. So that in the third year, you're like, imali, they're like, sis pass. No, sis nama room, si grand. When you come home, we'll do something nice for you. Because yes, you were the chosen one who was a startup, say to. But we didn't just milk you to a point where also we took the little bit that you have and we're like, look, let's plow in. And one of the things I said in my videos about black tax is, let's not only send money home, let's send skills and education. Upgrade your parents, upgrade your brothers and sisters, and then also give them opportunities. Like say, Yazi, I'm a doctor, I'm a medical doctor, but konum chito taisa these things, go home and be like, Tuan, wazaname koli. I want to show him chito kandi nyung halendlel, and then take it back home. And then whatever stock, I'll take the black tax money and I'll send you stock. Niben and do something. Oh, nasispan. Uplift. Don't just be a hero on your own, because at some point heroes need help. And if you haven't built up back at home, the cycle's going to continue, that poverty cycle, and they'll wait for the next hero.
Start where you are, use what you have. They say when you're going to copy well. Usually, when I want to get into a certain circle and grow my brand and get into a certain type of network of people, I never ask anyone for anything, including a mentor. I'm not going to ask you for money. I'm not going to ask you for anything. I would rather do it the other way around. I'd rather identify things that you need in your business or in your ecosystem that you would normally pay for, and things that I think I can bring to the table without you paying for them. And when
Sure.
you are asking for an invoice from me when I'm supposed to pay you, I'd be like, no, it's okay, sir, it's
Please.
on me. No, but that's how you make a business. You're a business person. We want to pay you. Thank you, Siyabonga. Please send us an invoice. So you don't have to. Thank you, sir. I've won that person for the rest of my life. That's how I've hustled in growing my network, and those are some of the things that I can share out there.
I just want to touch on that because young Tinta, man. One of the things I learned along the way, from reading, from watching stuff, from listening, because the other very important thing is to constantly be sucking in information and knowledge and building an algorithm in your head to sift what works for you, what doesn't. You don't go to a potential mentor and ask for stuff. It's so off-putting because especially if they're rich, everyone wants something from them. It's annoying. You go there and you offer to do something for them. Like I said, it's the pain points. How can I help you? You go to them and you're like, oh, Sbu, and you're like, Sbu, how can I help you? You're like, no, man, you're struggling. You feel like it takes, and you're like, it doesn't matter. There's something that I can do for you. What can I do for you? It's a game changer. One of the chats you had, I don't know this gentleman's name, but I think TEA, Bulelani.
Oh, Tia, Bulelani.
And
Bulelani Balabala.
He said something
He's
about...
one of my mentees, actually. I'm very proud of you, Bulelani.
No, he said something about the ability to buy, let's say, your mentor a meal. You don't have much money, and it's refreshing because I'm so used to paying for...
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden, you're like, no, I'll cover. You're like, please, can I? You're like that's new. That's different. So I'm very touched because it's that when you want to... That's why I said working. Like, I want you to mentor me, but can I push more fire for you? I'm not like, no. Can I help you grow your brand? Or you want to make money? Forget about money. I want to help you. What's your pain point? You want to be a billionaire by this year. You want to get this many subscribers. I'm gonna focus on helping you do that. It only holds that you're gonna let me in. This is my personality. Other people are transaction based because let's say I want to be a good engineer or accountant or whatever. So I'm like, this is what I do for a living. This is how I'm gonna help you. I personally love building genuine relationships. I want us to be mates if we're not making any money together, if we're not on a platform together, because I don't care that much about money. I care more about people. And I know how valuable people are. When people talk about, yeah, but you need money to build a skyscraper. I'm like, yeah, they didn't have money to build the pyramids. They had people. And if you can get the right people to do things for you and to believe in you and to buy into you, you'll never need money.